tuning in to watch this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new punk rock videos every week and tap the bell to get notified when new videos drop. My name is Erin Micklow and I'm here at Rebellion with Colin from Conflict. How are you?
I'm good.
You'll get that fight. It will totally take your power. I can't let go into love. And you don't need to be it. The way they get that decision, the way they will believe it. You might think so. You will never, ever, ever defeat it. Belfast, Brixton, St. Paul's, Westminster, Howard. Reclaim the streets. Reclaim the town, reclaim the nation bit by bit, because it's not theirs, it's fucking yours!
We're back today after 7 years. You were banned, right?
Yes.
What'd you do?
I had a little bit of an argument with security, we should say.
Can you tell the full story?
Without getting arrested. It got a little bit heated, and I had a history with the security firm from years ago at Brixton Academy, not the guys that were working. So basically, it went mad in the audience. Someone came over the top, and his knee hit one of their faces and took a couple of his teeth out. He went up to the Showsec office, and straight away they fought conflict again, and they flooded the pit with about 30 guards, and it started getting rough. So I had an argument with him. He told me to fuck off, so I hit one, and then at the end they gathered round and said what they were going to do, and I said what I was going to come back and do, and that was that. But the funny thing was, I rung Daz the next morning and said, "Is it all right to come in?" Because I was meeting Leiden, because Peel was playing, and he said, "Yeah." And so I was sitting in there, and then two plainclothes women police officers came and got me out.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So how did it come that they allowed you to come back this year after all these years?
Daz has been in the conflict since the start, really. He put all our early gigs on, and he kept saying about getting us back. I just presumed I was banned for life anyway. And he asked if I'd do it. I said, yeah. And he had to run it past, obviously, the security, the other people involved, and the venue management didn't want me in again. So, and I didn't expect it. And I said, well, give it a go, see what you can do. And I apologise and, go through it. And I just expected a no, and he said yes.
Yeah.
So we said, right, because we're doing that, we'll play for nothing, and it's all going to the black homeless people. So.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah. I didn't want it to be seen like we was getting bought to come back. Do you know what I mean? So I thought if you do it for free, it's...
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to kind of make amends.
I think so, yeah.
Make amends.
I mean, me and Daz have always been fine, and he understood. But he kind of understood, I think. But we just got really, really heated. I was in a bad time at the place at the time. After my dad died, I weren't right in the head. And just little things set me off.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
But,
But better now. I mean, somehow people liked it last time and said it was brilliant. I think they thought I was acting, but I wasn't. I just didn't even know I was there.
Yeah. But I mean, with you being one of the most iconic frontmen of like an iconic anarcho-punk band, I mean, would anybody really expect anything else?
Well, this is it, really. I mean, it's one someone put, too rebellious for Rebellion and stuff like that. It wasn't me, but I do get where they were coming from because they're doing security, but It was just a really big misunderstanding. And mid-set, when you see that and them getting rough with people, they do a thing called grappling. It used to be done years ago. I don't know if you have in the States. If people come over the top, they hold their hair, so you can't get back in. They pull you over and kick you out the back door. And I've only ever seen it back in the days, in the Clash days. And that was going on that day, and so I was a little bit upset with that.
Yeah,
but they was
awful.
upset because they thought our crowd had kicked one of their security. It was just a big mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a mess.
the future. There is no future that might offer any person. Punishment never caught on a meaning termination. Discovery of the blood. Come to the Shroud Nation! Try to stop all everybody like things run around me. Got in the name of an enough as we need a spokesman. And it's like the moment in the real world on the wrestler. We now have one. Who's our mission? Who's our mission? When I challenge like I crumble in the fall with the price. This thing to with the money. Losing to the budget. It's awesome if you shake it up and up. And it's wrong. Roll up, posty, funny moves in my fire. Don't see them drop the white punk on a pile of new bread. Then I get up. And those who come with them.
For you, what do you think it is that defines an anarcho-punk band versus like a normal punk band? What is it that makes that subculture really special?
To be honest, I don't like the label. I don't like being labelled as it. I don't know really. I mean, to be totally honest with you, straight up, a lot of the bands that wanted to be anarcho-punk bands were too up their own arse. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to speak honestly. They really did. You know, if you didn't agree exactly what they said or do exactly what they do, similar to what you get, then you weren't one of them.
Yeah.
And I stood out for that because I weren't one of them because I weren't a pacifist and I wore white shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, you always have your nice posh shirts when you're on stage.
Yeah, it was black for ages, wasn't it? It needed brighten up.
That's funny. Well, so for you, with the album, The Ungovernable Force,
Yeah.
that's an album that sold over 250,000 copies.
Yeah.
It went silver. When you wrote that, were you expecting that? And kind of what was your...
No idea. I mean, when we wrote that album, it's the only one that we went into the studio and had nothing written at all.
Yeah.
We just writ it off the top of our heads. I think it was right place, right time, Thatcher's Britain. The way we were singing about it because it was real, so people could relate with what they were going through, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty surprising. Actually, it upset Morrissey because he's never had a number one album, and they released their classic "Queen Is Dead" on Rough Trade, and we kept him off the top.
That's pretty cool.
He wasn't happy.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a really a special thing to be able to say.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's surprising. I mean, I don't know, it's told 10 times more than all the others. But yeah, I think right place, right time.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it. I don't know, you just write what comes out.
Yeah. Well, so I saw that you have another tour. You were just in America. We hung out when you were there in May, and you have another tour coming up in October, right?
September.
September.
Yeah.
So how did that one come into place, and what bands are you touring with?
I have no clue we're playing with.
But you're coming back so soon. Is it with Slope again?
No, it's the other bit. It's the other bit. I don't know, your country's big, isn't it? So it's like, it starts in Oakland, but it's all like, I think you call it East and Mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we ain't done that. We couldn't go back to the West Coast that quick. And then next May, the full tour after the album, which is all of it.
Yeah.
6 fucking weeks.
Wait, what?
6 weeks, you've got to do it properly, to do America properly. This is 4.
Yeah.
Too much for me.
So for this tour then, are you going to have filler members? I remember when you were there in America in May, some of your members here couldn't really get in, so
No,
you have...
that'd be the same lineup, yeah.
Yeah, so you have your like American
Yeah, but
guys.
the thing is as well, Oddie and Gav can't tour because they've got other commitments. So
Yeah.
And Will knows it. He's been around me 15 years. Well, he's been in the conference since he was 15. They know it inside out. So it's easier for me because I can get in around the back door then rather than officially. Because don't put that in. Yeah.
I don't want you to get in trouble with that, but it feels like a lot of bands do that when they come over because the visas are just so expensive.
Well, yeah, you've got to really, I mean, I did get in 1985. I got stopped for a long time over the fence, but they like guns, so they let me in.
Yeah.
It's really weird because I had a firearms and ammunition charge from 30 years ago, and I got in, and Rascal Singer had a drugs charge, and they turned it away.
doing that interview with Moby? You said you were going to do a piece
Done half of it.
with.
Yeah. Done
So
half
wait,
of
was it a phoner interview?
It's a phone one, yeah. It's mainly about the animal liberation stuff, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
I read that
Mainly that, yeah.
you are involved
Yeah.
in the animal liberation front.
Yeah, from the off, yeah. So he wanted to know, I mean, there's only so much you can say, but he wanted to know a lot about that and the vegan thing and stuff like that, really.
Yeah. So you are vegan too?
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, how can you be involved in the animal liberation
30
front
years.
and not be vegan?
Yes, exactly.
So how did you get involved with that? I mean, I guess that kind of ties in with why people call you an anarcho-punk band.
What with the animal liberation front?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I met Ronnie Lee years ago, who formed it. Oh, God, I was really young then. And, and he explained to me all about it and stuff like that. There's no real membership, it's just you go out and do it.
Yeah.
Because if there's no membership in an organisation, then it can't be broken.
So what kind of things do you do? I mean, I'm not super familiar with the organization. I've heard of it. I know a little bit about it.
What did we do?
Yeah. I mean, what is it specifically for those out there who
Urban sabotage, I'd call it. Broke into laboratories, nicked animals out, got them out, burnt down places.
That sounds actually kind of fun and exciting. It's like
It
you're
was good.
doing crime.
It was good till they made it a terrorist thing because they changed the law.
Oh shit.
And that's why Ronnie got 18 years and he's never hurt anybody. You don't even get that for killing someone. He's out now, but yeah, they basically got MI5 on it and they made it a terrorist thing because it was winning at one stage. So the pharmaceutical companies was losing so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to I mean, you could call it terrorism. We used to just make sure that they couldn't get deliveries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to an interview the other day with Coxbar, and they were talking about how when they were teenagers, when they were lads, that one of their fathers was like, he used to, because it was like the 50s or something in England,
yeah,
and times were tough for money, so he used to like import exotic animals and sell them or something, and that was the thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, it's just
Is that still common in England?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just an education process in the end.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where we've done the direct action thing so long, I mean, I've actually been pulled by police who said, look, you've had a good run, retire, or we're going to fit you up.
Yeah.
Fair enough, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say I've retired, I've changed a different way I do things.
Yeah. Well, so what's like the weirdest story of rescuing an animal that you have?
Probably the weirdest one, I mean, there's some I can't say, obviously. The most heartbreaking one was we went into a laboratory once and we could only take so many animals, so we shot the rest because they're going to get vivisected on, so it's better to do that, put them out of misery. That was hard.
What kind of animals were they?
Rabbits, donkeys, beagles, loads and loads of different things.
So wait, you shot them because they were
going to get vivisected on. So they would have had a slow, painful death. We couldn't take them, we had no more room, and they'd have been cut to pieces and had a really bad time, you know what I mean?
But why do they do that?
They used to do a thing called the Dre's test back in the days to beagles, which they would drip makeup in their eyes. So they could see
like
if it hurt
animal.
humans.
Yeah, that's like
So they'd get blisters and they'd see what affected them, and so that was the best way.
Horrible. Yeah, I mean, for me as a female, a lot of the makeup I wear now, because they're bringing more awareness to this, a lot of brands are really promoting that we're cruelty-free.
It's come so far.
Yeah, and
years ago it's come so far.
It was something that you don't really think about because obviously the makeup companies aren't going to advertise this.
Exactly, yeah, they're not going to show you what's behind the scene.
Yeah, and
Revlon was the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting now because you, as a female, you see a lot of makeup companies and like I'll have to Google it before I buy a product.
Of course, yeah.
And there's companies that used to be cruelty-free and then they switched back because they switched their distribution back to China.
They kind of cleverly do that as well.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's doing rainforest-friendly beans when they chopped it down in the first place. A bit weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, so for you getting ready for shows, what are some of the things you do to get
ready?
Me? Yeah. Do you do anything?
No, not really. It depends what mood I'm in. I don't know. I really don't know what happens till I get up there, and it is how it is.
So what kind of things do you do when you're not playing shows?
Not a lot, really. Don't really go out much.
Yeah.
Because of gigging, I suppose, and you gig so much, it doesn't have that, nice thing to be out anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I've done this.
But you mentioned before that you sometimes go play football with the guys from Muse, right?
Yeah. That's only now and again, but yeah, that's fun. Don't mind doing that, but I mean, like nighttime, I don't really do a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go out when you're guys taking selfies. But you go out and it's like, you're out all night. You're up late.
Yeah.
You know, fans are hanging out.
In the end. I mean, it's like 30
and then when you're
years
home,
in now, isn't it? So
yeah, when you're home, you're like,
minutes, all right.
What?
We've got 1 more minute. Is that right? Ollie called me.
Oh,
we have to have a band meeting. I better tell them a set list.
It's got stuck on my earring.
Oh, don't done it yet.
Oh my god. Ow.
So,
So we'll close with that.
okay.
So thank you so much for taking the time
And
today.
see what you think afterwards.
Yeah.
If it's shit, say so.
You're not shit.
I'm Colin from GBH, and you're watching Last Rockers TV.